and welcome to Garden Time with Serdar ARAPOİTLU. My name's Sue Ghazi. Welcome, Serdar. How are you this week?
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to see you again, Sue.
Yeah, good to be back, isn't it? And today we're going to talk about various different corners of the garden and how we can plan them and how we can differentiate between them.
Yeah, also different areas on the garden as well we're going to talk.
Yeah.
Well, we have some cactuses here because there is a cactus corners on the article as well.
Yes.
Always we are just planning the gardens and we just want the color, we just want the greens, and we want to end up with the nice gardens. But we're going to touch a little bit different subject today, which is different corners.
Yeah.
We did talk before about the front garden, which is how important the front garden for the garden lovers.
That's it, yeah.
So I like to say something about that as well a little bit. The front garden always, we need to just people when they come and they see your garden, they say, oh, whoa, this is nice.
That's it.
And then when is the garden start? If it's the front garden is nice, means the back one is going to be better. And as much nicer with the front garden, we want to carry on the job as well on the back garden. And then of course we can always do the nicer rockery corner for us, for your garden. We can choose the hardly plants, okay, for the rock garden. We can find the very nice stones and rocks, which is we can polish them also to look wet and nice. And what else we need to do? When we do in the rock garden, we can still lay down the membrane and then make sure to not too much weeds. So in future time, to not make you do very hard and very heavy maintenance.
Yeah, you see that's part of the planning as well, isn't it? Which is very important, of course.
Yes, it is. So rockery garden always, when you're doing, you can build like a half moon style, and then of course you can use the either for the seaside or the mountain stones and the rocks and everything, but just make sure always, if it's possible, to bring the irrigation system there as well, because rock gardens means very less soil. So as much as there is less soil, you need more water. So we have, again, every time we say very hot, very hot. This year is very hot.
It has, hasn't it? It's been about 42 in the shade.
But every time it's same, maybe a little bit more, little bit less. Every time we have that experience. So again, we have this experience, but what's happening is we're forgetting how it was hot and how it was this year, less water, of course. We have not enough water. So what I'm trying to say is we have lately experienced again about the July and August. So that will give us ideas in the rockery garden or normal garden how much irrigation is important. So I'm sure rockery will be better and easier to look after with the irrigation system. And of course you can choose different color of the flower. We have one climber one here today in the studio, which is the irrigated leaves as well.
Yeah, they're pretty, aren't they?
Yeah, very pretty. And of course, not only just flower different color, we can always choose the leaves different color as well. That's why we have this example today here. And still, you can just rosella we have there as well. You can just has the different color, dark ones, and of course the light color as well. As long as they are hardly, and try to choose the longest flowering plants, which is they flower longest, and you will have the longest time flower. This is important.
Yeah. And I think that's quite an important point that you've made there, Serdar, is that it's not always the flowers that we're looking for, is it? You know, plants can have interesting leaves or interesting stems, and so it's quite nice to have something different, isn't it?
It is. It is. Especially there are some plants, there are some climbers is evergreen, and always just the leaves will be enough for you to see the color there.
Yeah. So is this particular plant, will it keep its leaves in winter, or
Yeah.
is it just one which we'd put outside in summer perhaps?
No, this is all the time.
Right.
It's keep winter time as well, and always irrigated the leaves as well.
Yeah.
They flower little white flowers as well, but I like them when they are without flower because they look very different.
They do.
They are very
different,
exotic as well. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to keep them on the rockery.
Yeah.
Of course, roselia as well. You can make the sure. Now there is yellow roselia as well, yellow color, which is nice. There is another one here. We can keep this on the rockery as well.
Yeah, I mean,
And
they're very attractive, aren't
Yeah.
they? They're like a big rosette.
Yeah, and of course they are very hardy. We haven't watered this for a while to just show how hard they can stay without water as well. So it's good to keep the less maintenance one and less watering needs ones on the rocker as well.
That's it. I mean, they're attractive plants, but also, like you say, you know, they need minimum maintenance.
Exactly.
And especially, you know, if you can plan the garden like that, you know, to have these kind of plants, and also, you know, with the irrigation system, of course, it makes life easy for us, and you can enjoy the rest of your garden.
And they look more healthy.
Yeah.
That's the most important
That's
thing.
true.
Yeah. And then there is another thing we're going to talk today about the cactus corner.
Yeah.
We have cactuses here. Of course, there is so many cactus flowers, of course, and you know they flower short a very short time. They flower.
Yeah. Some of them can last for just a couple of hours, can't
Exactly.
they?
And when we see the flower, we just they surprise us. First things we want to do, let's get the camera, because of course they're very nice flower. And again, we can use rocks and some sand when we're doing the cactus corners. I always like to use the sand because it gives that atmosphere there to look the cactuses areas.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's more natural, isn't it?
More natural. And again, still we can use the membrane under it, because maybe you don't use the rockery. Maybe it's better to use. Maybe you don't use the rockery membrane, but if you don't use the cactus membrane, it's very difficult to clean the weeds in the middle of the cactus.
That's it, especially near the spines.
Yes, yeah. Most of the gardeners, they don't like the cactuses because it's the spine. But I know lots of people, because we always have in our garden center different cactuses, and we're trying to bring the different ones, which is something which is never come this country.
That's right. Yeah.
So I can see, and of course there is so many garden lovers. They do collection for it, cactus collections.
Yeah.
So it's one of the best flowers, of course, and if you choose the right color of the rock as well and do nice combination, will be very nice and attractive, I believe.
Yeah. And so are you able to keep them outside all winter as well? Or
you can keep them outside, as long as, anyway, if it's the rockery areas and you can do the cactus corner, that area, there's nothing you can do anyway. But if they are in the pots and like this, and they are small pots, of course, you can imagine if it's the pots like this, and then you keep the under the water, these pots as much is taken down, because there is a holes to take it down. But sometimes when it's too much rain and couple days is raining together, now they start to damage and everything. So too much water is no good for the cactuses. So if it is in the pots, you can take it away from the rain.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, especially small pots. But if it's on the ground, there is no problem there, because rain is go everywhere. It's not keeping in anything, so we'll be all right. So.
I mean, it's lovely to see such a variety of cactus as well, isn't it?
It is, yes. You know, there is so many snow-looking ones, different shape ones, and everything.
And some grow very, very slowly, don't they? And other ones, they grow
Yeah,
fairly
depends of
quick
the
as well.
cactus style and everything.
Yeah.
But end of the day, if you're using the cactus soil,
Yes.
if you want to cactus to grow very healthy, like this, green and looking nice, you can always mix the cactus soil with the normal compost.
Right.
So that way, you don't have to use straight away all of them cactus soil, but you can mix it with the compost to break it a little bit down, and then you will get more healthy and quicker growing cactuses.
Oh, right. So that cactus soil does make a difference then, does
Big
it?
difference.
Right.
Big difference.
And you've got that at Mediterranean Garden Centre?
We have all different branches like orchids and everything, cactuses, bonsais, all different branches, cactus. All soil as well also.
Because I mean these products actually do make a difference to the plants, don't they?
It is making the big
You know,
difference.
I mean, if you try to just grow them in ordinary soil or maybe in ordinary peat soil, they just won't do the same, will they?
Cactuses, and especially orchids, because have to be some branches inside as well. There is another things we always say, and people they say, no, really, gardenia and the camellia, this kind of the achelia, this kind of the flower is better to use the always acidic soils.
Yes.
So most of the people, they don't know this, and they just using the normal compost soil. And this time they say my gardenia started getting the leaves yellow. It's never flowering as it was before. So this is important. You can always, when you're transferring them bigger pot, to use the acidic soil is very important.
Yeah, that's quite true, isn't it?
It is, yes. So after Cactus's Corner, we're just going to talk, maybe we need to do some gazebo area, which is, you can always choose the back garden, and maybe you can use the corner to not to west your garden. But most of time, our design, Mediterranean garden design, we choose in the middle of the garden if you don't have pool area. Of course, if you have pool area, either depends of the what shape is the pool and where is this pool sitting in your garden. This is important. With that, we plan and we always put in the corners when is the pool. But if there is no pool, we always do in the gazebo areas, which is in the middle of the garden. And we give little bit privacy that sitting area as well, which is when you sit down there, you can relax and you can feel that green, and you can feel that nothing, you don't hear anything, just a bird, voices and everything. This kind of the gazebo is the natural way, is the best, of course.
And of course, that's a good idea as well, because you can introduce all kind of climbing plants as well, can't you?
Yes, as we mentioned on the article as well, you can always give the climbers on the gazebo, especially Stephanidis, which is, we all know now, very hardy leaves they have, and they have very nice, strong scent. Of course, it's very easy to look after Stephanidis. They don't need much water, and summertime, hot heat is okay with them. And most important, I believe all the garden lovers, they know now, the Cyprus is very windy country. So when you're doing the garden, you have to look where is your area. If you are on the hill, you should think about the wind as well and everything. So again, one of the hardly plan for the wind Stephanidis is very good.
Yeah, that's right, because actually not every plant does very well in the wind, does it? I mean, it can burn the leaves even,
burn the leaves, they don't look nice. They look all the time damaged and not good. They look ugly, which is we don't want that. We prefer the hardly ones. They look nice, and of course very little maintenance will be enough for them to show you what they are and everything. We have frangipani on the studio today.
It's one of my favorites as well.
Of course, always around area, we can break it a little bit, the garden, and put the scent one as well. The frangipani, this one is the classic one, standard one, which is the flowers coming white and in the middle yellow. That's the standard one. And as you know, we mentioned the color one is come now.
You did. You mentioned that the other week, didn't you?
Red, of course, and the yellow and pink, different colors now. We have on the garden center them. but they're not sun as much as the classic ones. So these one, they have very heavy smell.
They do. They're beautiful at night, aren't they? Did they actually have a scent during the day as well, or not?
During
maybe not
the
quite
days,
as
but
much?
always flowers. More scents they have evening and the night time.
Right.
Of course.
Yes.
You can
I've
feel it
noticed
more.
them at night. Yeah.
You can feel it. Also, there is a Pakistan nights, which is
that's lovely.
Yeah, you can see it from the name as well. Nights.
Yes.
Why they say night, especially evening and night time, very heavy.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't have any allergy for these perfumes, Pakistan Nights is one of the best scents you can have it in your garden.
Yeah.
But try to use the corners, because the wind is taking the smell and bring it to even in the middle of the house as well until.
It is. I mean, you can be walking down the road, for example, and you can just get the scent of it, and it's very, very strong, isn't it?
Yeah.
But actually, looking at the plant, it doesn't look very special, does it? You know,
Well,
to
exactly.
look at it.
Not colorful.
Yeah, not colourful.
If it's grow,
Yeah.
so if it's grow and it's bush house and has very healthy plant and has lots of flower, it's look nice.
Yeah.
But just even normal and just little flower even, they do very nice sense. So
it's the scent,
they do good job more than what they look.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and for viewers, they actually call it Pakistan Geceleri, don't they, in
exactly.
Turkish? So that's what you want to look for.
Yes.
And you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, that's what it is. Or some of the garden lovers, they call them night special, also they call them as well. So as long as we have scent in the garden as well, and then of course don't forget the color, one of the important point as well, and try to make the color each of the season different.
Oh, that's a good idea. I never thought of that.
So not to just plant only the kind of the plants, the flowers, they're going to flower only summertime. Maybe autumn time and the springtime as well, and the winter time as well. You can find the different plants and the, of course, flowers. They flower winter time as well, other season as well. So just a different area, because sometimes we see in the garden one area in all same plant. And what's happening this time, especially that kind of the plant, if it's just the summertime they flower, all winter time that corner is look dry.
It's just going to be bare, isn't it, with nothing there?
Nothing there. Actually, this is giving us the idea why is the season flower is popular.
Yes.
Because you can always, this time, the garden is under your control, and you can always change it, the area. Maybe sometimes you say, this lilies has been here a very long time, and it's too boring, I want to change it. But to take the lilies out is not, you cannot do that, of course. But when it's the season flower, you can always say, okay, they don't look any healthy anymore. Out, new ones come out. You can plant in winter time. I'm sure the summertime is at the moment, the summertime flowers, they start to, because we have very dry summer, of course. They start to look yellow. They start to look not healthy and everything. So I'm sure autumn flowers is getting ready at the moment, and a little bit more time we're going to plant them.
And this is where, I mean, there's such a lot of things to remember, aren't there? And it takes such a lot of planning. Because, I mean, something like this, it's always good to maybe have views from an expert, you know, like yourself. Yeah,
of course, because the life is like this, isn't it? Sometimes you just need advice for everything. Garden is one of the things in the life. But you can see each of the time, as much long as you have the garden, you start to get more experience as well.
That's right, you get a feel for it.
This is very important. So that's why sometimes, depends on how much you love the garden as well, but sometimes when you see garden, very nice garden, first things you ask who is the owner, and when you find out the owner, you will say, of course, it's look very experienced. You can see how experienced, or maybe what another things you will say. Of course, it's her because she loves flowers, she loves plants, she loves green. We always talk about this, or maybe the greens is his life, and that's kind of the things we always use.
That's right.
So experience, and depends how much you love the greens as well.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. And I know another area of the garden that we were chatting about before was actually maybe including a water feature, you know, like a pond or a waterfall or even a fountain.
Yeah, we already mentioned on the article as well for this week. Yes, water feature is you need the tropical looking plants, especially that area.
Yeah.
Because maybe you can build very nice one, but if you do any mistake for planting, you're not catching the point.
Yeah.
And it's not looking natural.
Yeah.
So you can always choose tropical ones, maybe pampas grass.
Yeah.
Maybe some cigaster will look nice, and maybe robellini trees, which is they hanging and they looking nice. Of course, some seditium area. The last things what we did, we just plant some seditium on the rocks as well, and they very nice. They look healthy there and everything.
Yeah, yeah. So, would a plant which enjoys the humidity do best there, or does it not really? What kind of plants do you advise?
Well, for inside, you can always the water lilies is the best. Of course, it's very nice there. They will be nice there, and the round something which is you can start the front areas, the lowest, which is we mentioned about the seditium is very nice, will be there, or gazania is very hardly plants near the rock area, which is you can plant them in the front as well.
And colourful as well.
Colourful. Yeah. And again, you can always choose what is your style, what you like. Tropical looking ones is the look better, but as much you can put the highest one, and the middle one, of course, maybe left and right area, and just inside, very deep inside behind, maybe you can put pampas grass will be best, of course.
So it's a good backdrop then, isn't it?
Exactly. So that will give some nice looking, and of course you can always dig into some rocks and put some in there as well. Lotus flower will be nice there as well. They flower very nice flower, of course, double red and yellow together.
Yeah, pretty.
They nice. So this is something to do with little bit what you like as well. Yeah. This is important.
Yeah, I mean, you could even include some fish, perhaps, if you have a pond.
Yes, we did mention that as well. You can have some color fish there.
That's right. Looks
and
attractive.
Of course, you can enjoy it with that way as well. Yeah, important.
Yeah. So I think actually we've covered a lot of subjects on today's programme, and I know that we could continue talking for much longer, but unfortunately we've come to the end of the programme. So thanks very much, Serdar, for bringing all the different kinds of plants into the studio.
Thank you. As you're right, as much you see the greenness, you want to talk.
That's it.
More and more. Most important, I like to be useful for our watcher. So enjoy your garden again. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good week in the garden. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Why are Gardena cutting tools so reliable and long-lasting? Why are they so comfortable to use? Because Gardena tools' quality and perfect form are constructed by people who love gardening themselves and who know just what our customers want. Because their innovative ideas are put into practice with the best materials and the most up-to-date production techniques. Because we make high-quality materials even harder and even better. Because we strive for perfection in the production phase, only our best blades go on for further processing. Because we constantly test our blades for precision. Coat them using the most modern methods, thus permanently improving them for easier cutting. Because our precision blades are mounted with the greatest accuracy. And ultimately, because our employees have a trained eye and an intuitive feeling